Facebook land, and hello, everybody's actually here in the office. This is great. So tonight's class actually is one that we have offered in last year. I think was the first time, and a lot of people took advantage of this. And I want to make sure you get a chance to do this yet again to really take a look at what are my goals this year for my health. And if it does include some type of weight loss, you actually would have a way to do it in a way that's very sane, very safe, and get you where you want to go. So tonight our speaker's coming. She'll be here shortly. Her name is Terry Needon. Excuse me. Terry's been doing Ideal Protein for probably at least 10 years, I'm guessing. What it is, it's actually a program that's designed to help people do something that's a version of keto, but actually do a way where it's monitored and you guys should get results that are predictable. She'll tell you what the average results are, which is pretty neat. That actually includes women sometimes losing 1 to 3 pounds per week and men somewhere in the ballpark of 2 to 4 or 5. My own experience with it is we actually did it in our office when we actually had a larger space, and it was really cool to see people take charge of it. It's certainly a very controlled program. Some people have said to me through the years, I want to be in a program where I know that if I'm cheating or not. Okay? Like I want to know very clean lines. Well, there's not a whole lot of fluff room in this thing. If you do it right, you'll know what's going on, and if you actually are cheating, you'll know that too, and it will actually show up in terms of actually the scale and also in terms of the tape measure as well too. So for us, it was very congruent because a lot of the posture work that we do in this office, we have to do something for people, and they're actually offsetting pounds they're carrying that actually are making their posture be bad. So for us, it was a very natural fit, and we just don't have the space or the time to do it in our office, but we can definitely outsource this to great people like Terry. And my own experience with it is actually that I did this program last year and actually hit my goal just as I was actually having a bit of a health crisis. And it was actually, I think it actually helped me respond faster to my recovery when I didn't have all that body weight asking for help and oxygen and nutrients, and it could actually go to my healing tissues. And I really do like it a lot. So actually our guest speaker has just shown up, which is fantastic. So for those of you who are here tonight, there'll be some really cool swag. For those of you who are watching, if Terry's kind enough and wants to leave some for you, that's great too. And you can actually see if it's a good fit for you. Not everybody is. And in fact, Terry will readily admit that she wants people to be a commitment level of at least a 9 or a 10. If you're like an 8 or less, you might want to wait until you actually are really sure you want to do it, because her success depends on your success, and it takes the matching of a good coach and a good player, so to speak, like you would in football or any other sport. So for us, it's critical, like in our office for chiropractic care, that you really want what you're saying you want. If you give lip service to it, but your actions don't match, then actually we can have less than the desired outcome, and we can still see good ones. But to get the great ones, the ones you can actually share a testimonial about and say, hey, look at this is actually how it's done. That is a 50-50 proposition. I actually say it's actually more like 100 to 100. Terry brings 100% to the table. You should bring no less than that too. So with that said, Terry, come on over and I'll give you the headset. And we have her all set up. She's got some really cool slides, and she's gonna explain how this whole program works. And again, when it's all said and done, listen to her call to action. And if you actually have an interest in this, and it's more than just like a fleeting interest, but you're saying, no, I'm serious about this, here's who you want to get in touch with. So let's give a nice warm welcome to Terry.
Thank
Here she is.
you.
Great.
Thank you
Here
so
you go,
much.
Terry.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Okay. Yep. Not quite in the ears. Okay. Oh. Okay. 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 Gotcha.
For you.
Excellent.
Yes.
We're on.
Yep.
We're working. Okay. Perfect. 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 Okay. Sorry, I am late, everybody. Okay, I am Terry Needon. I have been a health coach for Ideal Protein since 2012. First, I was a client in a chiropractic office. I loved the protocol so much that after I had my success, I went to the chiropractor and said, I need to run this protocol. And he was a little worried about it because he had never had anybody be so intense or so passionate, probably is a better word. I lost 65 pounds in 6 months. I am a heart patient from birth. I had atrial septum defect, and they went in and sewed it up at 10 years old. In 2007, I had atrial fib, and they shocked me back into rhythm, and I was okay for a while, and I am now experiencing atrial fib again. A lot of it has to do with stress. Our company was just repurchased by Dr. Tran at the end of December. So many of the coaches are doing a reboot with Ideal Protein because we've been stressed out about the direction of the whole company. So anyway, I'm glad to be here. I don't know all that Dr. Lin shared, but he was an excellent client, an excellent patient. When we talk about the different, okay, which way am I going here? The right one? Okay. So when we talk about gaining weight and we talk about protocols and we talk about weight loss, first of all, it's important to know that our bodies are not designed to lose weight. We are designed to gain weight. So people get really frustrated saying, you know, I'm not like other people. I can lose weight at the drop of a hat, or if I stop eating and do intermittent fasting, I can lose weight real quickly. But our bodies are designed to gain weight. So it's important that we learn how to combat that. The North American diet does not make things very easily because we have sauces, we have all sorts of yummy things, and it's hard sometimes to stay on a protocol. So you look at this and you think, well, that's kind of a healthy cheeseburger, but really it isn't. The bun has a lot of calories in it. The cheese has calories in it. And it's important to know each dimension of what you're eating and what's on it. When I look at a client's profile, I look real closely at what's going on in their life. We are triangles: body, spirit, and mind, physically, mentally, and emotionally. And if I have a client that comes in and their whole life they've been stressed out, they've gained a lot of weight, they have a lot going on, this tells me that they're imbalanced, and we need to start getting them in balance in one dimension. And when you start getting imbalance in one dimension, easily or a little more easily, things will balance out for you. For an example, I'll use the situation of Ideal Protein going through a stressful time, not knowing who was going to buy us or if we were going to even be in business after the end of last year. And my emotions were running deep. I would think about, I'm losing clients. How am I going to take care of my clients? Am I going to have product? Products subsided for a while, and we didn't have a lot of the products that we have. We have 80 products, and it had subsided to about 39 products. And so I was really stressed out. So my triangle, my mind, body, and spirit was off. I'm a very spiritual person, and I relied on my spirituality to get me through this, because honestly, I don't know how anybody does without having the spirituality and being emotionally attached to a faith. So I have put on weight. I'm working on doing a reboot, and knowing that we have been purchased and we are going in a positive direction, I'm starting to get more in balance with my wellness, body, mind, and spirit. So when my patients come in, I always ask them, what is your why? And I get a myriad of answers. Some are, I just want to get into size 6, or I want to wear this dress for my special event, or I have a health situation, I'm going to have my knees done. My chiropractor says I need to lose some weight so it's not so stressful on my knees or my shoulders or my back. Some people just say, I'm 50 years old and I don't want to be this weight anymore. So I ask what the why is, and we work through that. And every time that a person comes in, they come in and we do their weight on the Ideal Protein scale. We do their measurements, and I ask them their emotional question of the week: how have you been emotionally? And if they've been really stressed out, they might have been challenged with their weekly diet or their protocol. If they've had a really good week, they've been able to stay on just a little bit better. So I always ask, what is your why? What is your purpose for doing this? And I heard Dr. Lin say, if a client is not a 9 or 10 when they come in and do their health history with me, I usually don't accept them as a client because you're not ready. If you're not ready to commit 100%, you're not ready. And I can't be more passionate about you winning and losing than you are. It can't be kind of just a halfway situation. You've got to be full in with this. So I ask, are you here to lose weight or are you here to lose weight and keep it off? Those are two huge different answers. Some people will say, yeah, I'm just here to lose 20 pounds or 15 pounds or whatever. And some people come in and they say, you know, I've really never had a really good health plan. I ate anything I wanted when I was a kid. I really haven't learned how to eat, what to eat. And so that's really important when I am talking through the health profile with my clients, if they, you know, what their reasoning is. Are they here for the education or are they just going through the motion? That's very important. So why is it so easy to gain weight? Because there is sugar in everything. Sugar is more addictive even than cocaine. That is a statistic. And there is sugar in everything, and if you don't eat sugar a lot, you're not going to crave it as much. And that's kind of what this protocol does. It kind of curbs the sugars. You are on 850 to 1,000 calories a day for the Ideal Protein protocol. The recommended dietary allowance for a protocol is 2,000. There's do-it-yourself, and there's a slide later on. There's a do-it-yourself keto. There's lots of different protocols, and you have to find the one that's best for you. But there's sugar in everything, and people don't really pay attention to that. There's hidden sugars. There's things that are sugar-related that people don't even pay attention to, that they don't think it is sugar. So it's really 1 teaspoon of sugar equals 4 grams of carbs. And 1 slice of bread is 20 grams of carbs or 5 teaspoons of sugar. So just think about that. That's a lot of sugar. What is the big deal? And why is it a big deal? Well, our bodies crave sugar. Our bodies prefer sugar. And excess sugar is stored as fat. Weight gain plus increased risk of high blood pressure and diabetes weigh negatively, overproductive of insulin plus lower sensitivity of action to insulin, and insulin levels go up, which creates a negative impact on your weight gain. So the science of the protocol. Our bodies have 3 fuel sources. The first tank is the sugar tank, and every time you eat something, it's going to go into the sugar tank first. If we can get the sugar tank reduced, your body's going to look for a food source. So it goes to the protein tank. Ideal Protein protects the protein, which makes it go to the fat tank, and that's where it starts eating your fat. Before ketosis, dietary glucose or sugar is your primary fuel. Day 1 through 3, you are getting your sugar tank empty. Day 4 and beyond, it starts burning your fat out of your fat tank, because the sugar tank, anytime you eat sugar, it'll go right to that sugar tank first, and then and it always fills up. So let's say that Dr. Lynn comes in. I'm going to use him as the example. Dr. Lynn comes in. I'm looking at his journal, and he said, yeah, Brenda and I, we had an anniversary, so I went out and I had a piece of cheesecake, and I had this and I had that, and we had a glass of wine. That's fine, but it all went to, it stopped his ketosis. It went into his sugar tank, and he has to reduce that again and start all over. So it takes 4 days for your sugar tank to reduce. And here's what I was talking about, the difference between the different diet protocols. Regular balanced diet averages 2,000 calories. The hypocaloric diet is 1,000 to 1,200. The do-it-yourself keto diet averages 1,500, and Ideal Protein protocol is based on 850 to 1,000 calories. I have had clients come in and they're like, there is no way that I can only eat 850 calories a day. I'm going to be starving. And I just kind of smile, because the next week the people will come in and I'll say, so were you starving? And several of them admit, no, I wasn't even able to finish all of my food, because your body is eating the fat, and it takes care of the protocol protein takes care of what you need to stay full. Question.
Yeah, we have an online question.
Okay.
Is sucralose good for us?
There are some things in not really. There's.
Can you repeat the question just in case
Okay. The question is sucralose good for us? And there's alternative sugars. There's alternative. Not really.
I know, do some of your products have sucralose, or just, but not all of them, right?
Some of them do.
Yes.
But they have to be FDA approved, and so there's just a trace of them in there, just like there's milk and people have a milk intolerance. There's just enough of it in there, but it's not enough to create an issue.
And it's not something you'll do forever.
No, that's a good point. The question was, is this something you'll do forever? The Ideal Protein Protocol is not something you'll do forever. There are, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in the slides ahead, there's a definite beginning, middle, and end. Okay, so here's my roadmap. Phase 1 is the weight loss phase, and you stay in this phase until you reach your goal weight of whatever that is. Now, doctors will say, I want you to be in a certain BMI. Most of the time when my clients come in, they know how they feel. They know what they feel good at as far as what their best weight is. And so I will have people that will come in and they will want to lose 20 or 30 pounds, but then after they get going, they decide maybe I need to lose more. Some people come in and have this grand pie in the sky goal, and then people start saying to them, you look really thin and you need to stop phase 1. So I have a chart. We have a percentage and a guideline for men and women. We want them to be between certain percentages, and that's what we consider a good goal weight. And it varies from person to person. So phase 1, what's happening here is you are getting 3 packets a day, you're getting 4 cups of vegetables, and you're getting a protein at night. And then you're getting the different supplements also that are included with that. And that's on phase 1. You stay on this phase until you reach your goal weight. Then we go to phase 2, which is stabilization. A lot of times people do phase 1 and they're like, I'm feeling fine. I can do the rest of it myself. I don't need stabilization and maintenance. That is the biggest mistake I have found with my clients, because you're just quitting and your body it's really struggled to get to this goal weight, and we need to stabilize it because it's not used to being this weight. Like I said in the beginning of the slides, our body is not designed to lose weight, it's designed to gain weight. So what it's going to do is going to try and put that weight back on. So we have to go to stabilization. We don't count calories in this protocol, we count macros. And so for stabilization, we wean you off of the Ideal Protein 3 packets a day, and we put you on a meal plan to stabilize based on if you're male or female and what your weight is, what you're going to be for stabilization, and you stay on the stabilization phase until your body stabilizes. And again, that varies for each person. And then the third phase is called maintenance. And what I do is I stay in touch with my clients for the next year, making sure they're staying within their macros that they've been given, making sure that they haven't had some life-changing situation. It could be anything. And making sure that if they are doing well on maintenance. Sometimes we need to go back to phase 1 and do a reboot if they have a hiccup or if something happens in their life. So these are the 3 phases of the Ideal Protein Protocol. Any questions so far on that?
Yeah. The question online was, so curbing sugar intake is the first step. Do you have to continue to curb sugar intake to maintain your weight loss?
Absolutely, you need to curb sugar. If you don't have the sugar in your sugar tank, you're going to have weight loss.
No, I mean, once you've lost your weight.
You need to make sure you are under a certain amount of grams of sugar. You can't go back to your old eating habits. And that is a big mistake that people make. They're thinking, okay, I've lost all this weight. I can go back to having my glass of wine, or I can go back to eating the bread or the buns or the, pasta or all of the carbs. You are not allowed to go back. So this is a lifestyle transformation. Many times people go on a diet, and that's just exactly what it is. It's not a lifestyle transformation. You are just you're just going through a phase.
The word diet.
Yeah, it does. So diet, I don't even like that word, and we don't, as coaches, we don't even use the word diet. We use a protocol, we use lifestyle transformation, because we are hoping as coaches that we are educating you on what you should be eating, and people think, well, you only live once, I don't want to eat vegetables for the rest of my life. Well, in my case, I'm a heart patient, and it's important that I eat a healthy meal, and it's important that I have a healthy lifestyle. So I don't like the word diet either. So anyway, okay. Any questions thus far? Do we have any other?
They were wondering, how many grams of sugar would you eat per day? And I said it's dependent on each person.
It is. It is dependent, and I'm going to go into that just a little bit further in just a second here. On phase 1, this is the weight losing phase. This is where most of the work, all of the work, in fact, is done. On this weight loss, what Dr. Lin did is he had 4 cups of vegetable, 3 ideal protein packets, and a dinner protein of his choice from a list of foods. The thing I liked about this protocol when I did it was it was very well laid out. It was very defined. I did not have to guess what I was going to eat. It was very well defined and laid out for me, and I'm that type of person. I'm kind of a creature of habit, and so I enjoyed it because I could make a bunch of different things. I knew I wasn't going to throw myself out of ketosis because I was eating from the sheet, and that's what they say, eat the sheet. It's important to stay on the how many cups and how many times a day that you eat. So that's the phase 1 of the weight loss question.
Well, I was just talking to Erin this week, and we were talking about how you have to do those supplements if you're going to cut out whole food groups. Can you talk about that? How you have to supplement with certain things?
You do have to have supplements. You are eating foods that don't have the vitamins and the nutrients in them anymore. And each of the supplements, I don't have that slide with me, but that's a very good question. Each of the supplements have a role of what they do. Those 4 supplements are a CalMag, an omega, a potassium, and a multivitamin. And they give you the supplement part that you're not eating in a lot of the foods that you're usually getting. So that's really important, and they do have in our packets that we have. I do have a breakdown of all of the what each of the supplements do and how they take care of that part of it that you're missing.
I was just thinking about when people try to do it on their own, they don't always know that they might need sea salt or whatever. Absolutely. And the reason why you use sea salt is because the iodized salt is that's already been refined. The sea salt is in the original form, so that's why you use the sea salt. Phase 2, again, you are responding to how your body
is handled after you've lost the weight, how your body handles it. So ghrelin is your brain, these are the two hormones, and ghrelin tells you when you're hungry, and leptin tells you when you're satisfied. So it's really important that you pay attention to these. Metabolism or energy expenditures goes along with this on the stabilization form or stabilization phase, and it's really important to know what your hunger responses are. The more calories in, the less calories will be out. So the ghrelin and the leptin are the two hormones that let you know when you're hungry and when you're full. So that's really important to pay attention to. So on phase 2, our body is going to fight to regain, like I said, regain the lost weight by increasing hunger and burning fewer calories. And so we need to make sure that when we are talking about the different macros, that we are staying within those macros. When we are starting out, after a person has finished phase 1, we start out from 15 to 40 carbs a day. And we usually max out at 70. And the cheeseburger that I showed you before, that exceeds the whole day of the carbs that you would probably have.
That's in phase 2?
That's in phase 2, yeah. We do it by macros, not by calorie count. So in the stabilization, your body will fight to regain the lost weight by increasing hunger and burning fewer calories. We reintroduce the carbs very slowly. That's why I said you start out at 15 and we go up to 40. I usually don't let my clients go over 70 unless they're very active or an athlete. We discover what the macro code is in each person. This is fine-tuned for each person. We decide what your weight is. For an example, let's just say Dr. Lynn weighs 170 and he's male. I would give him the macro count of how many proteins, how many carbs, and how many proteins he would have a day on that macro count, and he would stay within that. So that is phase 2, and we stay on that till your body decides that, okay, I'm not going to try and gain the weight back. I'm satisfied. Here's the macro code that we use. Like I said, protein, fat, and carbs. This is just an example. This, I don't know, do you know what your macro codes are, Dr. Lynn? It's been probably a while.
That is it.
Okay. Yeah. And this they know is their sweet spot. We use this as kind of a key to know that I'm not going to be starving, and I know that I'm full. You're fine. A lot of times people will splurge and get out of their macros, and then they'll be like the next day they'll be hungry because they've had too much sugar. They're going to crave sugar the next day. Macro codes help you maintain your new weight, ongoing education support and strategies for phase 3. And we set up the home environment by changing your habits, resetting your mind and body, using mindfulness of eating, understanding why our body gains fat and how to avoid gaining fat. And we add a variety to the meals. For example, I have a couple of clients that they use the Ideal Protein Cookbook. And they use the packets within their daily meals. For example, I have a client out in North Platte. She makes these delicious loaves of bread, but she uses the Ideal Protein pudding and she uses the chocolate chip pancakes. And, you know, she can use that all through. She doesn't have to, but she can continue to use that once she's off the protocol. So, it's important to learn how to cook differently. And like I said, it's a lifestyle transformation. Every once in a while you can have a cheat day, but it's really important to stay within the guidelines of the macros per se. So the ideal protein difference, I had a young lady ask me, what is different between the Optavia and the ideal protein? I know the eating is different. I know it's a keto diet per se, but the difference between the ideal protein protocol is that we are medically developed and medically managed. The reason why you see this in a lot of chiropractic offices is because you're not using meds, you're not using, shots of different things, and I mean the injections. Chiropractors use this because it's a clean, if you feed your body the right foods, it can reset itself and it can reset and be very healthy. The difference between the ideal protein protocol is we are medically developed. Dr. Tran developed this over 20 years ago in France. It's effective and safe. We've had 20 years of experience. We also have a scientific board with a heart doctor, a pharmacist, a chiropractor. I don't even know who all sits on the board now, but if we have any questions or concerns about our clients, we can run it through the scientific support and they can help us with that. We give one-on-one coaching. My clients can text me or call me if they have a question about anything. If they're at the grocery store and they're like, hey, I've got this situation here. Is this something I can have or not have? Or what can I use in place of something else? I'm just a call or a text away. There are 80 products that the ideal products, and we're changing that and getting more and more every day. This is low carb, low fat, and it has adequate protein. It resets your body to burn fat while retaining the muscle. It maintains the required vitamins and minerals, and then you get the macro code for the maintenance afterwards. So here is just an example of some of the ideal protein products that we have. The cookbook is amazing because, like I said, I have people make meals for their whole families. I had one of my clients say that his son loved the cheese and he had to tell his son, well, this is Dad's cheese that I use for my weight loss protocol, but the son loved the broccoli cheese. And so it's very delicious is my whole point there. The expected weight loss, this is what people ask me, how much can I expect to lose? And they do the math and they think, okay, like in X amount of time, I'll be done with the protocol. On an average, women lose 2.5 pounds per week. Men lose 3.5 pounds per week. And this is kind of
Not fair.
It's not fair, but men always lose. The women have the hormone situation, so men always lose faster. And a lot of times, I don't want husbands and wives coming in together because they get a little bit competitive. And you are each on your own journey. Even when I've had best friends come in, one girlfriend will lose different than another girlfriend, and each person's body is different, and we all lose and gain weight differently. So it's important just to keep this as kind of a guideline. It is not gospel, but that's important to know. This is my success story. Like I said, I was over 200 pounds in this picture. I know how to hide things well with clothing. But my goal was to get back into this dress, which I did in 6 months. So that was my success story. However, I've put some weight back on because of all of the stuff going on with the sale of Ideal Protein, but I'm going to get back in that dress. I can't right now. But I lost 65 pounds in 6 months, and I was taking off all my heart medications. So that was huge. And people talk about, okay, well, how expensive is it? This is a really expensive program, is what I hear all the time. And it's not, because if you're not paying for medications, and you're not going out to eat all the time, and you're not having to run to the doctor all the time, or you don't end up in the hospital having to have your heart shocked back into rhythm. These are things that people don't think about saving money. And I saved money because I didn't go out to eat every single day. When I did this protocol, I worked at the university, and I would spend $15 to $20 per lunch. And this is $5 a meal to be on the Ideal Protein protocol. If you ignore your health, it definitely is going to go away. The incentives to getting a healthy lifestyle is longer life expectancy. You have your wellness balance again of your mind, body, and spirit. You have a better quality of life. A couple of examples is I had a gal come in to me, and she was very teary-eyed, and she could wear her wedding ring again. She had not been able to wear it for 10 years, and she could wear her wedding ring again. I had another gentleman come in, and he said, you know what? I hate to fly. I fly all the time on my business trips, but I got into a seat in the middle seat of the plane and felt very comfortable because he had lost his weight. Better quality of life. Those are two examples there. It saves you money long term, and you're changing the lives of our children and the future of our health and wellness. It makes me really sad. I've gone to lunch with my granddaughter, and to see what the kids eat in their lunches, it's just total junk food. It's just crap. And it's just like, if parents knew that they were setting their children up for failure by not having them eat good foods, this is why we are in the pandemic that we are with health and wellness. So again, I'm showing this again, the Discover Your Why. The benefits of losing 5 to 10% of your body weight is blood pressure improvement, blood cholesterol, blood sugars. You have increased energy levels, physical mobility, general mood, and self-confidence. And this is really true. Like, things used to really, when I was heavier, things would just, I'm very high anxiety. I struggle with anxiety issues at times. And when I was feeling my best, and when I was at my healthiest weight here, things didn't seem to bother me as much as they did when I was at this weight. It just seemed everything agitated me. And when you're feeling good about yourself, when you look good, when you can do things, that in itself is a very big plus right there. And this is my why. This was me when I was 10 years old. I was a heart patient at UNMC. This is why I did it and want to do it and keep doing it, is because this is my family. I have 5 grandchildren. I have an elderly mother, and it's important that I'm around for them. I want to spend time with my grandkids and be there to support my family any way I can. So this is my why. The dress was just the beginning. I wanted to get into that dress, that little dress. But this is my why now, and this is why I keep going, and I have this picture up several different places to remind me, yeah, I would like to eat a bunch of crap once in a while. I would like to just not worry about it. But my mindset is so changed that I don't really, it's not a temptation as much as it used to be. I've done this since 2012. So anyway, this is Dr. Tran. The secret to our success, again, is the one-on-one coaching. Our coaches all over the United States are amazing. We have 2 clinics here in Lincoln. There's one, and we're independently owned, by the way. My friend Penny owns a clinic out on Wilderness Ridge, and I own one on 70th and O, and then I also have a clinic in North Platte, which is my hometown. And we've all been trained the same. We are trained and dedicated. We are here for support, for empowerment. Like I said, the ongoing education is really important, and to provide healthy strategies. So that's really important. Again, one of our audience members said diet. The word die is in there. When you are dieting, you focus on the mentality of food as the enemy, your bad habits, things you're doing temporarily, things you don't like about yourself, the scale, and the finish line. That is what diet is. When you are health-oriented, your mentality focuses on food being your fuel. Do you eat to live, or do you live to eat? That's really important. And creating good habits, things that you're going to do forever. This is for the rest of your life. They've talked about cancer and Alzheimer and diabetes and all those things that sugar and bad foods play a big part of. So what are the things that you want for yourself? Do you want to be able to fly and sit in a seat where you're not worried about being too big and wearing your wedding ring and different things like that? And your daily choices, it's a lifelong journey. So that is the difference between diet and health. These are just a few of my many clients. Most of these people lost at least 50 pounds, and I'm very proud of each one of them. They stuck to it. They knew that it was a transformation and that they had to just make a choice. Again, I was talking about what Ideal Health provides, coaching 24/7. Geneva Eichhoff is a former client that she has made several different issues of a cookbook and delicious recipes. We have Facebook pages connected to both of my clinics, North Platte and Lincoln. We have Facebook pages across the nation where you can get support. I have a private Facebook page, which is Ideal Health with Terry, that my clients, if they want to, it's a support group. If my clients want to ask questions amongst one another and not have other people know that they're on the protocol, this is the private page. And then that's my Ideal Health with Terry private page. So that's my three. Your health is an investment, not an expense. And your mindset is really important. Do you look at this as a positive thing, or do you look at it, I'm going to go through another diet? And many times when I get the health profile in, I will ask people, one of the questions is, how many diet plans have you been on? And some people have tried everything under the sun. To me, that is a red flag that they're just going through the motions. They have not been educated. They don't know exactly, they're just going through the motions. They don't want to learn, or they can't. There are some situations where, there are extreme cases where maybe being on a health plan, there's a lot of emotional stuff attached to it. So that's a big factor as well. Okay. Again, like I said, better health insurance rates, better quality of life for your family, less chance of getting some of these different diseases, saving money by not being on medications, and fewer trips to the doctor or the hospital. Okay. And I think that's pretty much it. These are some of the other benefits. I don't know, Dr. Lynn, people that have been clients of yours and that after they've been on the Ideal Protein protocol, their adjustments hold better, or they've had their knees, or there's something, a shoulder or a knee replaced, or...
I would say you can repeat these. So one would be, for sure, they don't have to balance their body mass as much because they have to weight forward.
Right.
Easier loading on the joints and just generally less inflamed, for sure.
Less inflammation, and that's really big. That's a very key factor. And balance. That's a good one too, because they're not being pulled, like you said, forward and out of sync. So anyway, so if you wanted to get started, what would happen if you wanted to become a client? You would just give me a call or a text. I would send you a health profile. We would have a consultation, a brief consultation, to see if you're ready to be a client or not. And then we would take it from there. And I don't accept everybody as a client because this is not a one size fits all. This is very specialized. This is very, it's very personal to me that I am able to help you on your transformation journey. And sometimes personalities do not mix, and so I might not be the person you want as your coach. So there's options there as well. And we can set the goals and we can crush them, just like Dr. Lynn did. Just, it's up to you.
I have a question, Terry.
Yes.
Real quick. For people who actually have concerns about being type 1 or type 2 diabetic, you have plans for that.
Yes.
Is that correct? Can you
Yes.
repeat that question so I know that?
The question was about people who are type 1 or type 2 diabetic. Do we have a plan for them? Yes, we do. Our scientific support will guide us through what we should do for each of those people. Even people who have milk allergies or different types of peanut allergies, because we have some peanut products, we can work around those things. But I'm not going to get into all the different specifics of those because that would be for us one-to-one personally.
Why don't you say your phone number one last time?
Okay, 402-430-9754.
Thank you so much, Terry. That's